Hey, it's Maria, and today I want to talk about a couple alternatives to Microsoft Office. So, this channel is pretty much about business and internet marketing. So, why am I talking about like word processing and spreadsheets here? It's because when you are in business, these things are essential tools that you're going to use over and over again to help make your business run better. I mean, everybody at some point needs to write a letter or create a form or maybe have some kind of a spreadsheet for expenses or tracking databases or things like that. And Microsoft Office is a great program, but it can be kind of expensive. And to me, it's not one of the core tools that I would pay for over and over again. Like, my email service provider, they're really important to me. That's who houses my list, and that's how I connect with my customers. That's like direct money in my bank. And my ClickFunnels account, that's like direct money in my bank. That's how I make my websites and my funnels. But my spreadsheets and my documents, they're very convenient to have. They're very nice to have, but they're not something that I want to pay a lot of money for. And Office 365 has just gotten really expensive over the years. It used to be for $100 you could just go buy Office and you were set. In fact, the last time I bought Office was 2007, if you can believe that. So I've been using a really old version. And what happened was my old computer that I absolutely loved finally died. I mean, it finally took the deep six, and I was really sad, but I had to let it go. And when I went to load my old programs onto my new computer, they didn't work. My Office, I'd used the license too many times because I'd reloaded it on other computers over the years, and some of my other programs didn't work. So I was really lost. I had to like upgrade to all new stuff. But Microsoft Office was one thing I just didn't want to upgrade to. So I've got two alternatives for you that are going to work great. You're going to love them. They're both good and they both have different kind of, I guess, uses or great things about them. So the first one I want to talk about here is Google Drive. And if you have ever stored things online, maybe you've done it in Google, maybe you've done it in Dropbox, maybe you've done it in, I think, one something is Microsoft's, I don't know. But Google Drive is my go-to, and it's what I've used over the years, especially when I was in ecom, because I was working with a lot of different people. So when I was doing ecom at like the height of my stores, I had 6, 7, 8 employees or something like that, and they were all over the world. Some were in the Philippines, some were in the US. I had a couple in the Middle East. I mean, just everywhere. And obviously, we needed to be able to share data and work together, and Google Drive is perfect for that. So, what I tell people is if you think you're going to eventually have to outsource, then you want to make certain things on Google Drive right away, because otherwise you're going to have to convert everything, and that is a pain in the butt. I had to do that at first. So, let's go to Google Drive. All right. I just type in Google Drive the first time, and you're going to do a personal account, and you'll be signed into Gmail already. If you're not signed in, it'll ask you to sign in. And here is my drive. It houses all of my folders. Now there's another thing that you can get. Let me just show you this real quick. Google Backup and Sync. And what that does, if you look down here in the corner of my computer, it has this little icon in it. Backup and Sync loads in your computer and it makes a copy of your Google Drive on your hard drive. So the cool thing about that is if you're working in like a spreadsheet or a regular type of Word document or something and you want to upload it to Google Drive, you just move it into that folder in your computer and it syncs everything. And you can also set it up so that if you don't have internet access, you can still look at all of that stuff, which is just really great. So you would just download Backup and Sync here. If you have a lot of files in your Google Drive like I do, it's going to take a long time the first time to sync, but after that it's going to be pretty quick and things should sync up within a minute or two, depending on the file size and depending on your internet connection. Now, one thing that I did is I had a lot of photos saved on Google Drive, a lot of videos. I had my employees working on like photo editing and things like that. So I would put the raw photos up on Google Drive. They would then edit them and, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with it. So let's look at the types of documents that you can do with Google Drive. This is a document just like a Word document. This is a spreadsheet just like a spreadsheet. This is a presentation. It's like PowerPoint. So you can do all those things. And Google Docs, that is just a Word doc, basically. It's very similar. It's going to give you a blank page. You just type on the page, and it saves things as you go. So you don't even have to worry about it because it's going to save things for you as you go. And then later on, those things will be stored right in your Google Drive, and it's going to be updated. Now, if somebody else comes and adds to this, then it's going to be updated. So it's really cool that way, and it gives you a lot of different options. Now, for some reason, there we go. I was going to say I didn't see a name. You can name it something like new document, and you can save it in My Drive, the main folder, or you can have all these subfolders. These are all ones that I've made over the years so that you can categorize things. So there's the document. Let's do another one that is the spreadsheet. That's Google Sheets, very much like Excel. I used to track all of my listings and inventory when I was selling on eBay and Amazon. And it's a really great way to do it. I would have several people working in at once, and it just made life a lot easier because we could easily share data, refer to things, update things. Really cool. You can do conditional formatting, so you can color code things and all of those types of things. And again, as people are working, it's updating constantly. Now, if you had like 3 or 4 people working on it, all of their little pictures would show up across here. It's pretty cool. So I'm going to show you the share feature. Oh, you have to name it first. I didn't name it. So with the share feature, you can share it to specific people. Like if you only want you and one other person or 2 or 3 other people to be able to access this, or you can get a shareable link. And a shareable link would mean anybody with the link can view. And what that means is, let's say that you have a list of names and phone numbers that you want to share with a lot of people, or a list of ingredients for recipes or something like that. You can share this link with anybody on the internet and they can come and look at this document. Now it says view, so they can't change the document. They can't edit it. They can only look at it, so they can't mess up your work. But what they could do is they could make a copy of it, which then it would go on their Google Drive. They can then edit their own copy and they can run with it that way. Now, if you don't like that, you don't want people to be able to do that, you can go to advanced and you can say disable options to download, print, and copy for commenters and viewers. So then they could look at it, but they couldn't copy it, they couldn't print it, or they couldn't download it. That would be a little bit more security, but my thinking was always, if I want the information to be out there, I want people to be able to use it, so I just didn't turn that on. Okay, another thing that you can do is do a presentation. Google Slides is like PowerPoint. You go click to add title, and you just can start making other slides. You can duplicate the slide. You can do a new slide. You can like move them around. So you can do all the things that you can do with PowerPoint. That's pretty cool too. And you can share those too, of course. Now, Google Drive also has things that I don't use. It has Google Forms. You can make forms. Google Drawings, which is kind of like Paint. Google My Maps, I have not used. Google Sites, I have not used. And Google Jamboard, I have not used. But these are all really cool things that you can play with and check out. All of them are shareable. The other cool thing you can do is, let's say that you have this particular folder and you want to share it with people. You click on the folder, it's kind of blue if you can see that, and then you click share here, and you can share an entire folder with people. So let's say you have somebody doing some work and you have a folder with 50 pictures that you want them to edit. You can just share the folder, and then everything inside of it is going to be shared. So that's pretty cool too. All right, let's go on to the next program that I use quite often instead of Microsoft Office. It is called LibreOffice. So I'm just going to go to libreoffice.org. It is open source. It is similar to a program called OpenOffice. I don't know if you've heard of OpenOffice or not. Both are completely free. I used them both, but then I settled on LibreOffice as one I like better because it allows me to save things in Office format. So I can save documents as a Word documents. I can save spreadsheets as an Excel document. I can save presentations as a PowerPoint document, and I really like that. Now, sometimes if you open them in Microsoft Office, if you have a lot of formatting and stuff, it doesn't always carry over really well. But I've also noticed that in Microsoft Office itself. Like, I was working on a really, really old computer once, and I had Microsoft Office 2003, and I would create forms, and then when I would try to open them on like 2007, 2010, 2013, it just messed them all up. So even between Office versions, there is a compatibility issue, but just understand that sometimes with LibreOffice, it's not going to be exact, but it's still a great program and it's free. So, hey, so you download it here. You just go download LibreOffice. You will see that it is available for Windows, Linux, and Mac. So it's available for all the formats that you're using. And let's open a Libre document here. So this is the document itself. It looks a lot like Microsoft Word. It does not have the ribbon at the top, but I think, if I remember correctly, you can turn that ribbon on so you can have an interface very, very similar to Word. I just leave it off because I like it better this way. This to me is like the old Microsoft Word 2003 where you just had the menus at the top. And I like that better, but I know that it has a ribbon on because I've played with it before. All right, you can also do a new file so you can see all of the different things that you can do. A spreadsheet is just like Excel. A presentation is just like PowerPoint. A drawing is kind of like the Google drawing or the paint type thing that we saw. I've not used Formula, so I don't know what that is. And database is like Microsoft Access, but it's not quite as powerful. But for most of the things that I use, I don't use databases and things like that. I use spreadsheets and I use documents, and I also use slideshows. If you ever see a video of mine and I'm not on the screen and it's just like a slideshow going, I probably made it in LibreOffice. In fact, I'm 100% that I made it in LibreOffice. So here's your spreadsheet. It's very similar to Excel, very easy to use. Let's open a presentation. You can use templates in presentations, so you can just pick one, or you can start with a blank one. I've used this one before and I really like it. It's purple and I kind of like the purple. So you can start with the background, you can add the title, add text, you can move things around, you can duplicate slides, you can do a new slide. It's going to use the same layout as the slide before it. Let's see, you can duplicate a slide, like if you have a bunch of words on it and you want to duplicate it and just change a few things, you can do that. So there are many, many different things you can do. There are different layouts. It's really a very detailed and comprehensive program. And honestly, between this and Google Slides, I like this one better, and this is the one that I use. And then when you're all done, you can do a slideshow, which you can click F5, or you can just do it the way I did it. And then you can use your arrow keys to go through. You can't really tell because I don't have anything on them, but I'm using my arrow keys to go through the slides, and that's how I do my videos that are just slides. I make the slideshow, I start it, I hit record, and I just go through the presentation that way. So those are my two alternatives to Microsoft Office. I really, really like both of them. They have different purposes. This one is great for, I think, better for presentations, and it's also good for things you don't want out on the internet. So say you have an Excel spreadsheet with like passwords on it and stuff. You don't want that on your Google Drive. Even if Google Drive is secure, you still just don't want it out there. You want it hidden somewhere. Um, or you have other data that, maybe financial information or things like that, and you just want to keep those more private. This is perfect because you can save it on your hard drive, you can put it on a flash drive or something like that instead of it being on Google Drive. And with Google Drive, you can do a whole bunch of other things. You can share documents, share information. That's the coolest thing about that, is the sharing factor and being able to work on things together all at the same time. So those are my tips for today. Two alternatives to Microsoft Office. I hope you found them helpful. If you did, please consider subscribing to my videos, my channel, because I put out a lot of things about business and helping you be successful in your own business. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.